Well, welcome to Classic Car Cave. So I'm just going to finish up this this front subframe, and I did get a couple of comments which I mentioned in the video, yeah, it's just really a matter of putting it back together. I've got some bearings to do on the front driver's side. I'm going to replace them because they may have been shock loaded, and I'm going to change the track rod end on that side, but that won't be done until the floor pan is completely taken out and replaced and everything's painted inside, so we're months away from that. So now this is pretty much together. What I'll do now is I'm going to crack on with this this head, and as you can see here, I've got all the valves out, so you can see everything's out. Unfortunately, there's no burns on any of them. There's no damage to them. The seats look okay. They just basically just needs lapping in, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll crack on with that this week. So I hope you enjoy the video. And it's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea. This is the second one I'm doing, just to show you. This is it now, just starting to get tight, but you can see the difference there between the bottom of that cone and when I start lifting it up. So I don't know if you can actually physically see that going up, but I can assure you it is. Typical, bloody light's gone out. Isn't it always the way? Oh, maybe that one. Oh, isn't that annoying? Okay, maybe that'll hold. These things never go to plan, do they? Hang on, I've got another torch here. Maybe this will work. Maybe. Oh, hey, filming. Where's the filming? So, okay. So now I should have enough room to get this in. I don't know if you can see the difference there between where it was, but you need to make sure that this obviously is sat into that tower properly. Okay, and I'll put this one in now, if I can. Try and leave that one if it's possible. I don't know if I can. I'll give it a shot. So, whoop. The washer's just popped out there. There we go. I'll get it in a sec. That's it, still going forward. That light is now in my eyes, typical. There we go. Somebody was asking me about these lower bump stops which go under here. Normally when they're under compression it's extremely difficult. You can almost lift the whole car up on that top arm. But if you've got enough compression on this, you can lift this up and it should just slide in like that, and you can just an 8mm bolt. There you go. So now I can release this top one, and then it'll all go back down. And I'll show you the top one again. Go back over it. Fit the top bump stop first, this one, and then you can easily get to it before you put the cone in. That's the first thing to do. If this is broken and you need to get it in, you can get your finger in there, but it's very difficult. You need like a crowfoot spanner to get in there, but that one's fairly easy to do if you lift the arm enough. What I'll do now is release the pressure off this, take the compression out of it, and then it'll all tighten back up again. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Put the lower arm in, the bushes, and then put the tie rod in. Okay, so I've put this this upright and bearing hub in. It's not staying in because I have to put new bearings and everything in it, but it's just for demonstration purposes. Now this is that fishing weight I was talking about. This is just a guide, and obviously when you put this on, the initial pull, because it's static, will be higher, but as you drag it along it should get less. It should probably go down to half of that. So if I put it in there and I pull on it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's around about 10 kilos when it starts to go, and then it gets less. That's what you're looking at. You should be looking at a little bit, not loose, but yeah, it's just about 8 kilos, something like that. But it's that initial start, but that's what we should be looking at. Should be looking at firm but not rough. And it doesn't matter whether the drive shaft's in or not, it will still be the same. I've got the drive shaft on the other side and I can show it, but it's roughly about the same. So I had a message from somebody. Actually, they didn't put a comment, but they actually sent me an email about it, about the damage that was done to the back of this toe board area here, and that the damage on the original was pretty much the same. But I did say, this is the problem if somebody flicks through a video or they don't see it, which is not their fault of course, but I did say that on the old subframe, the bit at the back that was creased, I could get that out. It was the eye that was the problem, and that really affects the geometry of the car completely. Trying to rebuild that and get it in the right place could cause all kinds of problems. So that was the reason that we changed it over. But he mentioned about how this was damaged from mini spares, and what I should have done was sent it straight back. The unfortunate thing was I was on a bit of a time scale while I was over in the UK, and I didn't notice until I got back here. If it had been creased or it had been ripped, then fair enough, I would have tried to get it back to them. But it wasn't. It was folded over. So and without virtually no hammering at all, I managed to get it back into shape. So it was bent up, but not creased. If it was creased, as I said, you know, or you know, there's quite a lot of elastic in metal, and it will go back as long as you're not doing it constantly, moving it backwards and forwards. This is where you then get to a point where you snap it. But it was just a small dent. Well, it was actually quite a big dent, but it obviously had been dropped from the courier on the ground or whatever at some point, and the whole weight of the subframe had gone down on it. But I didn't see it. You know, it is unfortunate. But it's not going to compromise the. He said it would it compromise the? No, it's not. I mean, when we put the rubber mounts on it, if it doesn't line up with the car, then obviously there's something wrong. But it will. There is no doubt in my mind it will line up. But it was very easy to get out. It was a bend rather than a nip. If it had been tucked, that would have been a different story. So anyway, that's it pretty much together now. I've just got to put do some bearings, do the brakes, put the discs and the drive shafts back in it, and then I can put this to one side and carry on with the head and get that done, and I'll do a proper video on the head. So as usual, stay safe, keep the faith. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, they're really, if you do anything, any kind of work like this, if you use the books, there's plenty of books out there, Haynes manuals, you know, they're pretty much an idiot guide. I mean, some things they skip over, like reverse action 10 or 12, but if you've got a book, even if you're a mechanic or you're you're an engineer and you know stuff, those books are invaluable. And the other thing I would say is if you're doing this kind of stuff, get together with other mini guys or whatever it is you're doing, Jaguar, whatever, and talk to them, and they'll give you the advice you need, and they'll do it for free. So you know, don't be scared to ask questions. That's the main thing. Anyway, so take care.